please welcome to the stage ASHE Executive Director, Dr. Jason Guilbeau.
Guilbeau, I use he and him pronouns. I am a tall person with a dark beard and dark hair, brown glasses, and I'm wearing this gold, amazing ASHE jacket that apparently a lot of people want in the merch store. Over the past few days, we have been visitors on the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho people's land. 48 tribal nations are also connected to and continue to be in relation with the lands that are now known as Colorado. Denver was a site for the Indian Relocation Act of 1956, which sought to relocate indigenous people from reservations to urban areas as a part of the federal government's broader termination policy era. We honor Denver's thriving indigenous community comprised of citizens of tribal nations from across the country, and we commit to supporting indigenous sovereignty and ongoing relationships to place and land. We acknowledge that the history of this place requires institutions of higher education to be responsive to the needs and expectations of a changed and still changing student population. We commit to advocating for equity, inclusion, and justice in higher education to ensure access to educational opportunities, fostering diverse perspectives, care and respect for the people of this place, and creating an environment where everyone can thrive, contribute, and succeed. Leading up to this week, ASHE leadership volunteers and staff have sought to be responsible visitors to this land, as well as engage with local communities. This included engagement with the Sand Creek Massacre exhibit for attendees on Wednesday, as well as during the Conference Committee Leadership Team planning meeting in March and our staff retreat in July, a financial donation to support the imperative work of Spirit of the Sun and Hesea, two local indigenous community organizations, Mr. Andy Kozad's Kiowa elder welcoming during the conference kickoff on Wednesday, and who will also join us on stage again tonight, an institute with the American Indian College Fund on Wednesday, made possible through the support from Ascendium. A special thank you to Natalie Youngbull, Roberto Orozco, Dave Sanders, and Cheryl Crazybull for their leadership of this event, and the 18 ASHE members who participated. A symposium with the Denver Public Library's Blair Caldwell African American Research Library, a session featuring the Undocu America Project led by Denver's Modus Theater, the BIPOC Marketplace on Wednesday afternoon, which featured over 15 local BIPOC-owned businesses, and support of local Denver businesses when possible, including our florists, photographers, movers, massage therapists, and more. As an association that brings about 1,100 people to a city, we seek to be engaged with the local community to the extent possible. We leave Denver this year having done just that. I want to especially thank the Local and Community Engagement Committee under the leadership of Susana Munoz and Heather Schotten for their guidance and intentionality with establishing and nurturing these relationships. At this time, I'd like to invite our quite amazing, quite fabulous 2025 Conference Committee Chair, Dr. Shauna Patterson-Stevens, to the stage for one final time to provide you with her reflections and celebrations from these past few days.
Power, purity, divinity, success, wisdom. As our annual conference comes to a close, the golden symbolism of the 50th anniversary evokes how patience and diligence strengthen our ability to bend the moral arc toward justice in higher education. Since 1975, ASHE has harnessed our collective power to lead transformative knowledge creation and shape the field of higher education with intentionality. This year, we made the decision to lean into the moment and leverage our creativity to emphasize our progress as an organization. I'm Shauna Patterson-Seaven, she, her, hers, and I'm a tall Black woman wearing my favorite combo as always, all black and big old earrings. I'm also wearing green to honor Dr. Marilyn Amy. Please, yes, please. Please offer me the privilege of asking you to give the 2025 Conference Planning Committee, Dr. Zamani-Gallaher, our esteemed ASHE professional staff, and yourselves a round of applause for the amazing contributions everyone has made towards ensuring our golden anniversary truly shine. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I've had the immense pleasure of providing support to our incredible planning committee and serving as a conduit between Dr. Eboni Zamani-Gallaher and several points of contact. Contributing to ASHE in this capacity has been nothing short of a privilege, and I'm grateful to Eboni for trusting me with her vision, to Alicia for incredible patience, attention to detail, and an uncanny ability to herd cats, to Jason and his steadfast commitment to advancing ASHE on an intentional, sustainable course forward, and to each and every planning committee member who shared their expertise and labor with grace and creativity. Saying no to this experience was never an option because, first of all, we're talking about the Eboni Zamani-Gallaher. Who turns Eb down? I say this with humor, but in all seriousness, I share with candor that any opportunity to work under Eboni's guidance is a guaranteed learning opportunity. I knew it would be foolish to turn down the chance to build with the intellectual powerhouse and cultural griot that I know her to be. And if I'm her Debbie Allen, then she's my Felicia Rashad. One of our matriarchs, leading with love, grace, wit, and a cutting side eye if necessary. She'll get you together. From my vantage point, the ways Eboni cultivated her team showed up in the ways they chose to manifest in this conference. Throughout the planning process, I was surrounded by people who led with love, questioned thoughtfully, reflected critically on our intentions, and embodied what it means to bring our full selves to every stage of our work. As a result, it's my hope that your encounters during this year's conference reflected a 360 perspective on the ways our humanity can be honored in research, pedagogy, practice, and service, while further complementing the complexity, nuance, and rigor of our work. With consideration for the ways we uphold the bend in the arc, we kicked off this year's conference with virtual offerings, including CEP's virtual colloquium, an ASHE virtual day of presentation sessions, and almost 100 participants attended the opening session, which featured a timely discussion on politics, policy, and higher education with Ona Alcindor-Dosunmu, Joy Gaston-Gales, and Paulette Granberry-Russell. At such a critical time in the U.S. and the Academy, Ona, Joy, and Paulette set the stage for a cascade of sessions centering dynamic approaches to activist scholarship, creative resistance, community engagement, and intersectional justice. As Jason discussed, we then transitioned our experience on-site here in Denver and were offered several opportunities to reflect and connect with the myriad communities residing in this space. Thank you again to Susanna, President Shotton, President Shotton, President Shotton, and the Local and Community Engagement Committee for the care and concern they placed in ensuring our association sustains reciprocal relationships with each site we visit. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show naysayers. Other times you have to laugh to keep from crying. Wilson, Alex, and the Attendee Engagement Committee aided us in starting the week off strong with Say It With Your Chest, a storytelling cipher, followed by our inaugural Laugh Lounge. This team also worked to ensure each participant's holistic needs were considered within each component of the conference, including an accessible intervention and resources. Let's not forget the revival of DJ Sharper One and ASHE After Dark. I am so tired. But it was popping. And obviously, our convening placed a premium on the presentation program. However, Tanisha, Marisa, and the program committee excelled in working collaboratively to ensure every keynote, panel, workshop reflected a commitment to equity, inclusion, transformation, and out-of-the-box research and practice. We prioritized diverse representation among speakers, invited sessions that questioned traditional hierarchies in learning, and built in time to imagine our futures. Excitedly, we were graced with the opportunity to hear from Dr. Sharon Fries-Britt in conversation about higher education's role in sustaining democracy with acclaimed scholar and former president of Spelman College, Beverly Daniel Tatum. Yes, it was beautiful. And everybody said they needed more time. As chair of ASHE's Golden Conference, I am deeply gratified by the thoughtfulness, intentionality, and critical consciousness that guided every stage of our planning and implementation. From the outset, our goal was to create not only a space for the exchange of knowledge, but also one that challenged dominant narratives in education and amplified marginalized voices. Through each event, participants engaged deeply, raising difficult questions, sharing community-driven practices, and envisioning more than just educational futures. The energy in every session affirmed that critical consciousness can coexist with professional rigor, and that contemplation can positively influence collective action. As I reflect on the conference's impact, I am both proud and humbled. The conversations that begin here will, I hope, continue to ripple outward, informing campus culture, future educators, classrooms, and policies long after the final session ended. This experience reaffirmed for me that education, when thoughtfully and conscientiously convened, can be a powerful catalyst for change. In looking ahead to 2026, I can't wait to experience the expansion of these efforts under the steady leadership of Dr. Nicole Garcia. Y'all, right? Sociopolitical issues are central to many of the conflicts involving the academy, and there couldn't be a more pivotal time to explore contemporary issues in higher education within the rich and storied context of Puerto Rico. I therefore invite you to join us in San Juan to continue to deepen these conversations during our upcoming convention. To Jason, Alicia, Ebony, the Conference Planning Committee, the ASHE Board of Directors, many congratulations on the successful celebration of our 50th anniversary. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Shauna, for your leadership of this year's conference. Over the past almost 2 years, Shauna was first appointed to the role around March 2024 and has been instrumental in guiding and supporting the initiatives that we've experienced over the past few days. Thank you. We've had a lot of fun this week. Many of us are tired. And while the conference always has been, and always will be the mainstay of our association, we have continued to become a true year-round association. I'd like to spend a few minutes highlighting some of our shared accomplishments from the past year, specifically as they relate to the association's strategic plan, which the board approved in 2022. One of the highlights from the staff perspective, and I really hope the member perspective as well over this past year, was the launch of our new website and membership system in January. After an 18-month-long process, including an IT audit, an open bid and selection process, the staff worked through the latter part of 2024 and in January 2025 to launch the new face of our association. We also expanded how we recognize scholarship and who we recognize. In April, the ASHE board approved the framework for our Fellows program. Fellows programs are mainstays for nearly every scholarly association, and after 50 years, we have launched our own. Yesterday, the Fellows Committee, under the leadership of Brian Burt, inducted the inaugural class of 25 ASHE Fellows. If you've seen the list of these 25 scholars, it's clear that we all stand on the shoulders of giants. Congratulations again to our inaugural class of ASHE Fellows. In addition to ASHE Fellows, at that same meeting, the ASHE board also approved 5 new awards for this year. These new awards fill gaps in our current lineup of awards, including now recognizing mid-career scholars and graduate student scholars, as well as public scholarship and decolonization work and scholarship. In addition, through the financial support of Dr. Noah Dresner and his husband, Oren, we also created the ASHE Poster Award. This award will be presented for the first time in the coming weeks and comes with a $750 financial award as well as mentorship. Thank you to Noah and Oren for their support. The Review of Higher Education editorial team has also been busy this year. Under the leadership of Penny Pasquay and Tom Nelson Laird, not only were 4 issues published, but each article this year is also open access through Subscribe to Open. In 2024, the ASHE board agreed to a 3-year trial of this program, and it's already proven beneficial to not only the association, but our members, you all, whose work appears in the pages of RHE. Thank you to Tom and Penny for their leadership. Last year, the board appointed Penny and Tom to an additional 3-year term of their editorship to serve through 2027. Earlier this week, we announced the call for editors to take the helms of RHE, beginning with a transition year starting November 2026. Thank you to ASHE past president and newly inducted ASHE fellow Ann Austin for chairing the search committee. The search committee is currently accepting applications. Ann's in here somewhere, so come in, please talk to her, and nominations through February. Another strategic goal we continue to lean into is supporting you all, our members, throughout your career. This includes our core professional development events, such as the Graduate Student Policy Seminar and the CEP Mentor Protege Program. In 2025, this also included a remodel of the Early Career Faculty Workshop, previously a 1-day event, into a year-round cohort model. We learned from previous event surveys that members in their first year in the faculty role wanted more structured connections. Thanks to Tamara Bertrand-Jones and Jesse Ford for their leadership of this year's remodel and cohort. Additionally, the Mid-Career Faculty Workshop, previously another 1-day event, has been turned into a year-round workshop series to better support faculty who have recently earned tenure and or promotion. Thank you to Amy Tarosky for her continued leadership of this event. And finally, in the realm of workshops, the Academic Leaders Workshop is also undergoing a remodel. In the spring, we'll host an online workshop for aspiring and new academic leaders, and in the summer, plans are underway for an in-person institute that meets retreat for academic leaders. Thank you for Tiffany Riggers-Pyle for her leadership of these events. In addition to our annual recurring events, remodels and all, entities hosted a variety of engagement events throughout the year. Thank you to our entity leaders and panelists who have led these events. Speaking of entities, the ASHE Board approved the expansion of what was historically 4 councils into a new entity structure, grouped by research interests, now known as councils, job and functional role, now known as networks, and identity, now known as collectives. In addition to CAHEP, CEP, CIHE, CPPHE, our new entity structure now also includes the ASHE Faculty Affairs Network, previously the Community for Faculty Affairs, the Graduate Student Network, previously the Graduate Student Committee, the Council for Undocumented Immigrants in Higher Education, previously the Presidential Commission on Undocumented Immigrants in Higher Education, and the ASHE Council on Athletics in Higher Education, previously ASHE and Athletics. And we have more coming soon. Interest groups to create the Scholar Practitioners Network and the Black Women's Collective met this week to begin the process for formal recognition. A special thank you to Dr. Jennifer Johnson, who led a work group in both 2022 and 2023 to build the foundation for this new structure. In addition to the new entity structure, in August, the ASHE Board of Directors approved a revised committee structure. The new structure refocused the work of board members on 4 key areas of the association: finances, membership, scholarly engagement, and values. In the new structure, we're also providing more support to committees, expanding the number of members on most committees, adding a graduate student member to most committees, as well as changing the onboarding process for committee chairs from virtually non-existent to a 1-year chair-elect term, then 2 years as chair. As Noah and Kimberly mentioned during the opening, our ASHE 15 fundraising campaign is about 85% on its way to achieving its goals. Because of these efforts, the Board of Directors is also in the process of creating a structure to support the receipt, stewardship, and awarding of these gifts through a foundation. More information coming soon in 2026. As we remodel our events, entity structure, and committees, we also know we have to find ways to best support our leadership volunteers. During Jenny's presidency in 2024, she created the Presidential Commission on Service, led by Margaret Sally and LaShawn Washington. In May 2025, the commission presented their report to the ASHE Board. This coincided with staff work to develop shared expectations for service engagement with the association and complementing each other quite nicely. As we continue to expand and deepen service opportunities with ASHE, the board and staff are committed to our leadership volunteer framework to ensure that recruitment and pathways are clear, volunteers are empowered and hold themselves and each other accountable, volunteers are appreciated and recognized, and that knowledge is transitioned between volunteers. As I hope you're picking up, if you haven't already, I haven't mentioned the conference in my remarks once. Shauna did a great job of it, of course, and the highlights of all of this week, the excitement, everything we did. But the other 361 days, the ASHE staff and leadership volunteers are working to support you all as our members. I know, it's a lot. There's not a quiz. If you did take notes, thank you. I will say that we learned from you all, our members, and our membership surveys that nearly all of you all learn about ASHE through word of mouth. However, we also learned that rather than an association having a consistent brand with nearly 2,000 members, we've had nearly 2,000 different versions of what ASHE is. So how do we support you all with knowing about everything happening and sharing it all? Throughout this past year, ASHE Assistant Director for Membership, Erin Satterwhite-David, and I have worked with Herd Creative, a minority, woman-owned, and accessibility-centered agency to figure out how we define ASHE and ensure we have consistent messaging of the association. We'll be leaning into our new brand guidelines in 2026, so stay tuned. This also includes final approval of the association's name and logo as officially trademarked, further protecting our reputation. And all of this begins on day one with our new members. Since 2023, Aaron has led new member orientation sessions and membership Mondays. These are events for the newest members of our community to learn about ASHE and begin building relationships. And in 2026, new membership orientation is being re-envisioned to provide a 3-year onboarding process for new members, ensuring we best support them with ways in which to best navigate the association and deepen connections with each other. And in case you didn't take notes, I'm happy to share that we do have a final report ready for you all from the past 2 years, and the one from this year will be released this spring. For the past 2 years, we have created an annual report. This report celebrates our shared accomplishments while further recognizing the ASHE members who helped to make everything possible. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. Part of this report is our financial status as an association. Through the COVID pandemic, the association remained financially healthy. However, since then, rising costs to run an association continue to climb. In addition to the 2022 decision by the ASHE board to cancel our New Orleans conference, resulted in a $165,000 cancellation fee, which was due earlier this year. The board of directors continues to consider ways in which we can be both an affordable association, recognizing the budget crisis that many campuses are facing, while also remaining financially viable. As every nonprofit, our financial data are publicly available through the GuideStar website, and I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone who has any questions about our financial status. Last year, while we were here, or in Minneapolis, I announced the recognition of our 50th anniversary, we were launching a $100,000 fundraising campaign. Well, you may know by now, that's out the window. As Noah and Kimberly shared earlier this week, that goal has been changed to $300,000, and we're 85% of the way there. Thank you to the ASHE members who have invested to create grants and scholarships to support our members. Because of their support, we awarded 39 scholarships this year and 5 grants totaling over $18,000 and supporting 44 members. Finally, as I end my remarks and recap, this of course could not be possible with about the 300 members who serve in leadership roles. And in fact, the shared responsibility of our nearly 2,000 members co-creating this community. However, I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege to especially thank the ASHE staff. Yeah, you know I'm gonna cry. You know I'm gonna cry. Alicia, Briante, and Aaron work day in and day out to also be part of shaping our association. Some of these things you readily engage with, such as an email response when you forget your password, or a phone call to pay an invoice. Other ways are, of course, more behind the scenes, but as a team, I'm grateful I get to work with them each day. For this week, we also bring on a few extra hands. Thank you to Sarah Daly, who is actually celebrating her 10th year as a conference staff member. Haley Adams over there in the AV booth, who has returned with us this year. Our accessibility consultant, Dr. Autumn Wilkie. And our newest on-site team member, Christian Ramirez. Without Sarah, Haley, Autumn, and Christian, our Starbucks bill would be much higher this week. And I can confidently say we would not have been as successful in hosting this conference for the 50th time without them. Thank you. One of the people this week would not have been possible without is our 2025 board president. Oof, why are you doing this to me? Dr. Eboni M. Zamani-Gallaher. Eboni has been a member of ASHE since the 1900s. And is engaged in various aspects of the association. She's a dean, a badass scholar, the recipient of millions of dollars in grants, and so on. You can find her CV online, I'm sure. What many of us find more important about Eboni is her approach to engaging with people from an ethic of care. Many times this year and this week, she's talked about critical hope in our current times. Perhaps more importantly than all of this, Eboni reinforces in the podcast that she is the mother of Nia and Nala and the wife to James. In case you had any questions, they come first. A few weekends ago, Eboni told me that the text of her presidential address would be a few days past the due date. I initially cringed, if you know me and due dates. Then she said, it's James and I's anniversaries weekend, and I'm not opening my laptop. When we talk about bending the arc, it's things like that that will help us bend it back to where it needs to be. Love and care and a recognition that we're more than our titles, our scholarship, or how good we looked on Thursday night. We're people with full lives who are not one-dimensional. So of course, I gave her some grace on that due date. You're welcome, James. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage ASHE 2025 President, Dr. Eboni M. Zamani-Gallaher.
All right. Oh, this is the golden hour, quite literally. This has been a wonderful ride, and I'm so happy that everything kind of materialized and came to fruition. Particularly a little nervousness about folks' travel these past couple of weeks with everything going on, but just happy that people were able to get here safely and be able to fellowship, and I think we all needed a reprieve in terms of just being in community with one another, and so happy that we've been able to do that. Again, Jason, you sir, you are epic. You're the best. I mean, the way we stand on our business under your tenure, I've been around. You ain't have to make me seem like I was prehistoric, though, dude. I was like, I try to go for vintage and, a little throwback, but damn, we going back that far? I'm like, okay, 1900s. That was cute, though. I liked it. That landed. That landed. So, but thank you. You talk about grace. Well, it's been reciprocated. You know that life has been lifing for me, and the way in which you have modeled those ethos of care, because I think a lot of times in our field of work, and I was talking with Jenny about this morning, is folk can be very transactional, and it could feel extractive at times, right? And I remember sometime early last year, I was working with somebody who I won't work with again. But the long and short of it was, they said, I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to get that to you. I buried my dad, and I've had a health issue. And they responded back in email saying, so we should expect your revised draft on XX date. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how we're doing this. yeah, you'll get this damn draft, and then you can kick rocks, was what I thought. So again, it is about seeing the humanity in one another, knowing that, like today's, guests, we had that conversation with Sharon and Dr. Daniel Tatum, where I think for us, they were modeling as well that we are more than just what we do in our work. And our things to do list, we're not to confuse that with having a life, because the work is going to always be there, and the work will put you in the ground, because there's too many of us that aren't here at this meeting right now. Shauna, thank you for repping for Maryland. Yeah, that was a hard one the last couple of weeks with Maryland. And Terry O'Banion, we've lost some giants. Every time we get here, every November, it's somebody else that's not in one of those seats. So we have to treat each other with care and not take for granted that somebody in this room is going to be at AERA. May not be. So that said, I ain't trying to be Daphne Dream Dasher. We're gonna get this lift right quick. We're gonna move past that. But Jason, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Briante, thank you. Alicia, thank you. Haley, thank you. Sarah, thank you. Autumn, thank you. And Christian, come on. Get on this team for the win. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shauna, I jokingly refer to as my showrunner. Anybody that knows Debbie Allen knows she is multi-hyphenated, as is Shauna. So many tools in your kit, so many gifts, and just continues to be a blessing to me, in and outside of the academy. And I'm happy to be your Felicia Rashad. For those of you that don't know, Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen are actually sisters. And Felicia's the older one. I'm the eldest. You are Debbie. Yes, and I love you much. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for everybody that was on the leadership team for our conference planning, our co-chairs for each of the committees. And what I want to do at this point is I really want to have what is a changing of the guard. I've been so excited to get to this point because I have a, I mean to sound like that, but yeah, kind of, because I got a date with the inside of my eyelids right after this session. I'm so tired, y'all, because I was like, turn down for what? And I'm like, oh, God, I'm so tired. Oh, we should have turned down. I need a turn down service. But I didn't get a tuck in last night. I was up. All right. But I really want to just tell you a little bit about who's on deck and who's got next. I said in our board of directors meeting that I said, I'm on the track. And I'm like, Robin, you're on the track with me. You're on the track with me. You in the lane. You're like, we're running together. Yeah, you run. We running. I said, yeah, that's right. We in this lane. We on this track. And I'm about to finish the relay. And I'm going to need you to get this baton, girl. Come on. Get it. Come and get it. And I'm so happy to have you on deck next, sis. I'm so happy. Let me tell you something about Robin. I also said is that she, for me, is like honey. Honey in a lot of ways, in terms of texture, in terms of light, in terms of flickering of gold, right? And it's our golden anniversary. And she just has a spirit and a way about her. Talk about ethos of care. Talk about selflessness. Talk about intentionality and just being someone who is thoughtful, just genuine, just loving. It's a purity there. It makes me feel warmth to be in her comfort and care and company. The thing about Robin, too, aside from her just being sweet like honey and having the texture and the fiber and the strength of it, is that she's a strong, excuse my language, badass Indigenous leader and scholar. And part of what is
in the fiber of that strength that we see in her tapestry of what's woven together and who we got coming next that I'm so excited about, is that she is going to help us to move beyond this Western leadership model, because I think we're still there as an association in a lot of ways. And there's things that I see in Robin that will help us to evolve and elevate, and that is the emphasis of what's relational, what's communal, land-based values, place-based sense of knowing and care, decisions that are guided and thoughtfulness with regard to not just who comes next, but a nod to who we come from, right? Our ancestors. That's what undergirds her. Her leadership style is not individualistic. From day one, as I've gotten a chance to watch her, know her, and see how she has shown up for me in ways unexpected with love and care, is that she listens deeply. She not honors just the relationships with her peers and the elders, and she leads with a sense of wanting to do what is good for the whole, right? And so I'm just so excited that we got a leader that has such cultural grounding, and that we have someone who is going to ensure that as an association that we will be the better from learning from, growing and knowing together, and drawing from the strength of indigenous worldviews, of language, of story. We appreciate stories, and the ancestors and the traditions, we have that in common. And so it is through the kind of cultural knowledge that she has crafted in her career that she's going to bring that kind of guiding framework to how she steers us in this next year. So I just want to say congratulations, and I'm here. I'm going to need to rest first, and then just tap me for however you need me, because you got me. So with that, I really would love to introduce who is now president, because the changing of the guard is done.
So I cannot beat those words, but I am really honored to recognize and thank you, Eboni, for your heartfelt leadership, intentionality, wisdom, and path you have blazed this year. You've led a pathway for us that has been treacherous, and unlike those we have had to navigate in previous years, with all the changes happening on a federal and local level in higher education. Meanwhile, you've been able to dream and enact a beautiful way of honoring ASHE's 50-year legacy. Many hoes to you, Eboni, and your conference leadership team and committee members. I hope to fill the shoes of you and all of the previous ASHE presidents, including your love of the organization, its members and staff. I would like to honor you, well, first with this gift. To honor you with this plaque. But also, with this shawl, and it's an intergenerational gift, because I want to acknowledge the doctoral student Serena Gray who helped sew it, and then I fringed it, and so it hopefully will envelop you with honor and warmth, and to acknowledge all of the leadership and all of the gifts you've given to us. And there's also a personalized bag for you that will honor your presidency of the 50th year. And just again, thank you for your leadership. I'm relying on your wisdom, and we're relying on you to be a listening ear after you sleep. So I've asked Dr. Nicole Garcia to serve as next year's conference committee chair. Nicole has been amazing to do this hard work with, and we've been able to build an amazing conference leadership team to vision next year's ASHE 2026 conference in Borican, Puerto Rico. Can you wave and stand? So, this year's ASHE conference theme is Land, Memory, and Power, Collective Movements to Revolutionize Higher Education. As we are engaging as an association, as universities, as scholars, and as humans, we understand that colonization has permeated the landscape and fabric of the United States, the Americas, and the world, and how we anchor notions of access, success, and higher education overall. While there are efforts to erase the colonial imposition on individuals and communities targeting race, ethnicity, tribal indigenous affiliation, national origin, citizenship, status, class, gender, sexual orientation, disability, age, religion, and the intersections across these identity markers, Indigenous peoples, Black, Latinx, 2S, LGBTQIA+, and other populations. The impacts have been felt through defunding and elimination of cultural centers, banning of DEI, initiatives and censorship and diminishing of curriculum, and voices of marginalized communities on campus. We acknowledge that within higher education, we are toiling with the efforts to undermine our advancements in creating belongingness, cultural centers, decolonizing spaces, and visibility with our students, faculty, staff, and communities. This year's theme acknowledges the power of collective movements to unsettle the colonial narratives that continue to shape U.S. higher education. Undoing the harm of these narratives, visible in erased histories, campus namesakes, and institutional practices, requires both naming and action. A healing practice rooted in critical consciousness can recenter marginalized voices and perspectives, moving our scholarly community towards disruption, dismantling, and transformation, thus allowing us to honor memory, the land, and communities for which we are responsible and connected. Because this year's conference is hosted in Borican and Archipelago, it's essential that we prepare ourselves in advance by engaging in self-reflection on how our own stories intersect with settler colonial narratives, and how we are responsible for undoing harm and dismantling systems of oppression that have underpinned our higher education landscape. We acknowledge that there is ongoing colonialism in Borican, and we are not tourists, but rather we are guests and allies. We must self-reflect on how this reality is visible in higher education. As an association, we have prioritized centering the local community's narratives and connecting to place in more tangible ways. Now we must consider how we uplift those whose stories have been silenced and lost, while also recreating a story that is a shared narrative of acknowledging colonization and empowering the voices of the communities our universities are tethered to and responsible for. To anchor us with some words of wisdom, I share these quotes. The acknowledgement that power and place produce personality means not only that the natural role is personal, but that its perceived relationships are always ethical. Deloria and Wildcat, 2001. And then somehow I learned that I belong with my people and that I had a responsibility to contribute to them. I will participate in changing the situations of injustice and inequality that I encounter because they deny people their rights and destroy their potential. Dr. Antonia Pantoja, who is a Puerto Rican educator, feminist, civil rights leader, and founder of Aspira, the Puerto Rican Forum, and the Boricua College. I also want to acknowledge the 2026 ASHE Conference Chair, Dr. Nicole Garcia, and the conference leadership team, who have collectively shaped what is shared out today to reflect how we are stronger when we envision and do our hard work together. Many hosts for your time and your contributions to this theme and to our future vision for ASHE 2026. I invited Dr. Nicole Garcia to be next year's conference committee chair because she is an amazing and critical Puerto Rican and Mexican scholar who does intentional hard work to uplift the voices of educational experiences of racially minoritized students with scholarship that focuses on women of color feminisms, critical race theory, and the development of critical race feminista mixed methodologies. She's also a badass and has already become like a sister and friend to me. I'm excited at the relational possibilities for ASHE 2026 as our conference leadership committee collective enacts this hard work together with Teresa Ambo, Crystal Garcia, Dimitri Morgan, Stefan Santa Ramirez, and LaShawn Washington, and Dr. Natalie Youngbull. Many hosts for your commitment and dedication to ASHE during this time. At this time, if it's okay, I'd like to invite Mr. Andy Kozad and your son to offer a closing prayer and honor song in the Koigu language, again using the Kiowa hand drum. The closing prayer will reflect on the gathering, express thanks for shared knowledge, and send participants forward with strength and clarity. The honor song is a traditional Kiowa song used to recognize the contributions of individuals and the collective spirit of the gathering. It may include vocalizations that are not directly translatable, but are deeply rooted in Koigu ceremonial practice.
Aho, gasela. That means greetings to all my people out there, different tribes, different nationalities, race, creed, everything. So it was an honor and privilege to stand before some people to share what's on our hearts, and our mind, our spirit, and soul. It's magnificent what you all have done and contribute all across this country when it comes to higher education. Each one of you that's here, you were chosen to be a part of that, just like in a Christian sense, people who come pastors and ministers, it was their calling, and that's what you're doing today. I don't know each and every one of you personally, but I know your endeavors and your endurance, accomplishing something that means something to your community. Maybe you own your own business. You're still at colleges, helping people, doing something for the community. And you come here far and near to be with us here in the city and county and the state of Denver, Colorado, United States of America. We thank the Creator for a lot of good things He gave us, bestowed upon our hearts, every tribe, every nationality, way of life. So that's how we try to do things to convey to the people, to understand we come from here, right here on these grounds. I heard that word ancestors just a moment ago, and it doesn't stop there. We all have an ancestral past, like I said the other day, native and non-native. Something that's good, something that's going to come upon our people in the future. We don't know what the future holds for us, but our people believe in prayer. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, coming from the Kiowa people, I'm a lifetime member. Even before I was born, me and my family were a member of the Goe Tainpego, which means the Kiowa Gourd Society. Some time ago, my dad was the original drumkeeper for the Kiowa Gourd clan. He was bestowed that responsibility to be a songkeeper for our Kiowa people. He said, well, I'm going to put it this way. It's an old song that Guilbeau, red wolf, brought these songs to the Kiowas. It was called a red wolf song. When this wolf was loping along, he was yelping. And then when he got through, he howled and shouted like a warrior. And as time went on, he said, furtherly, I'm going to put some words in this song talking about our ancestors that were here once upon a time. They went on. They're never to come back. But us that are here on this earth, we have some work to do. We have a life to live. So that's what that song talks about. It's an old ancient song, one of our original songs that belong to our Kiowa Gorge Society. And then after the song is when I'll do our closing prayer.
So long, hey, hey, yo, do ya ki o tai do, hey, 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 ya, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, yo, hey, yo, I go, but so long, hey, yo, do ya ki o tai do, hey. What's so long? Ki o tai do, hey, 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 I go get on ba go ba yo hey I go what's so long hey do ya ki o tai do I go get on ba I go what's so long hey do ya ki o tai do I go get on ba I go what's so long hey do ya ki o tai do
Ako pega Daki, Great Spirit, we come before you at this time in time of reverence and respect for our elders that were here once upon a time. Even though they have gone on, but us here on this earth, we have roads to make. We have pavements to make for our future generation. And these good people here that came here through these 3 days here to spend time with us in Colorado, they have done that. And I know there's more work for them to do wherever they go after tonight, tomorrow, to go back to their homes. I told some of them the other day, I said, will you go home? May it be a whole lot better than the way you left it, far and near, even if you just live here in town. God is good. God is great of all things in heaven and earth and the universe. Different nationalities, different beliefs, different faiths. Everything that we try to do in this life, Almighty God, Creator, Grandfather, Great Spirit, Dog A. Honey, Atom, help us every day, the mistakes that we might make. And we met some good people throughout this week. It's wonderful how you still can answer prayer sometime and things that don't go our way sometime. But you always know better. You know the best because we call you Father, we call you God, we call you Christ. We have different names for you, and that what you have done for us from the beginning of time. Mankind, womankind, childrenkind, our children every day. These holidays are coming up. May it be happy for all homes today around this world, the leaders, the things that we try to do in this life you gave us here today. Friends and relatives, far and near, our elders, whatever they are doing today, the teachings they have been part of our backbone all our life. They've been there. They have done so, these things that they have. Look back and look at us now. We are the ones who are going to come up here and do all these things that we can try to do in our life. So today and forevermore, till they meet again next year, like we say today, our Kiowa people, we don't have a word for goodbye. We just say we're going to see you down the road somewhere. All this I say to your son's name I pray. Aho Batonga. Amen and amen and amen.
Many ahos, Mr. Kozad, your words and your wisdom are so greatly appreciated. So now I'm going to pass it back to Jason.
Thank you to Mr. Kozad, both Andy and John, for being with us this week. And thank you to Robin for your vision for 2026. We'll be back in San Juan, Puerto Rico for round 2. So we've had a few requests for a few years to try a different date format. So the conference next year will be Tuesday to Friday instead of Wednesday to Saturday. I promise the mofongo and pina coladas will taste the same on weekdays. As we leave today, I first want to thank Gabe and Roxy for sharing Robin with us over the next year. Thank you. Also, as we leave, I want to thank our hotel staff, banquets, housekeeping, front desk people for welcoming us into their house this week. Our AV staff, who has made sure things ran on time. Our accessibility providers, who have made sure that our events are open to all. Our security team, and everyone in Denver who supported us this week. With that, I hope you'll enjoy your remaining time in Denver tonight and tomorrow, and I will see you in San Juan next year.